My name is James Bayliss, and this is my simulation activity reflection for AFIN 2050. An introduction to the task. The task involved us experiencing different trading roles as both a hedge fund manager and investment banker. This then allowed us to improve communication skills, problem solving, and analytical thinking. The two roles we engaged in during the task was acting as a hedge fund manager and an investment banker. In the first round, I acted as a hedge fund manager with the goal of delivering investments that yielded profits for my clients. This involved reacting to news and making decisions quickly. An example of this in the task was when Microsoft announced stronger than anticipated earnings. I had to lock in trades quickly to profit before the market moved and I missed my chance. This really applied to a real life situation, as hedge funds have to operate really quickly in order to lock in trades before the market moves without them. One of the key learnings I took from acting as a hedge fund manager was not having a relationship with a banker off the bat was my first fault. I wasted so much time messaging numerous bankers and missed my chance to invest in a number of different assets. During the second round, I acted as an investment banker. My role was to provide quotes for the hedge fund managers, limit my exposure to various assets, and maintain a profitable spread. And the spread was a task that bankers needed to closely follow. When the spread was too large, hedge fund managers would go to other investment bankers, while when the spread was too small, it led to lower commissions and potentially greater exposure to assets on my books. Some of the skills which I developed in the task was analytical thinking, problem solving, and industry-ready skills. Firstly, analytical thinking. Identifying both macroeconomic and market trends was a key thing for me in the task, and using a combination of top-down and bottom-up analysis was also pivotal. For example, as mentioned before, when Microsoft announced earnings above market expectations, it represented an excellent opportunity for me as a hedge fund manager to buy it before the price moved up. I started to achieve greater profits in the simulation when I pieced together the macro and firm specific information, and this led to some of my best investments in the simulation. Secondly was problem solving. I faced losses early in the simulation, and instead of chasing, I paused and reassessed my strategy. I had to treat them as sunk costs and focus on making profitable decisions with the resources I had left. One thing I realized was that emotions can be really powerful in finance, and it can be pretty quick to make a bad situation even worse by letting them take over your thinking. Lastly was work readiness. From the task, I was able to develop improved time management, being able to communicate clearly, and being able to adapt to a rapidly changing environment. I found that when I was clear with my demands on both sides of the equation, I was able to avoid unnecessary communication and lock in trades which yielded greater profits. On reflection, there were two things I felt I did well. I communicated well and I developed real relationships. Consistently communicating with the same people built trust, and even though we never met in person, it allowed for each of us to profit and get more deals done. Secondly which I did poorly, was my diversification and indecisiveness. I initially invested close to 90% of my portfolio in two stocks, which decimated my holdings. Diversifying across a number of different assets is critical to reducing firm-specific risk. And lastly, I was indecisive. I needed to back my knowledge and make decisions quickly. In summary, the simulation provided an authentic experience as to how markets operate, and the fluid nature of the task made it challenging to stay on top of all the news. I found that success in the industry, I think, comes from soft skills as much as it does come from knowledge, and the simulation really instilled the need to diversify my holdings across a number of different assets to reduce risk. Some future steps for me in order to continue my learning. I need to continue investing in my own human capital by learning about how the industry works and how I can continue to network and make things happen for myself. I've already found that the Market Maker podcast is an excellent resource to improving my own human capital, as listening to people who have been there and done that is key for me getting to the same stage. I also found that networking is important, as developing relationships with people will allow us to profit. And lastly, leveraging AI to enhance my efficiency. I found this from the Market Maker podcast, and if I can integrate this into my own work practices, I can profit moving forward. Thank you for listening.